Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And today we are looking at Demon Hunter, my favorite class. We'll be reviewing all the Scholomance Academy cards that have been revealed for it. Again, on a 5-star basis, with 5 stars being the absolute god tier card you would put in every single deck, and 1 star being unplayable trash you would be sad to take in arena. And again, we'll be reviewing in both Standard and Wild to give you a perspective of what will be good in either format or neither, depending on how it is. So let's get going with Vile Fiend Trainer, 4 mana 5/4 minion, outcast, summon 2 1/1 demons. Premium stats, upside, but Demon Hunter doesn't want to really play a card like this. I don't know. Like, it's only good with outcast, right? 4 mana 5/4 is never really good enough. And your upside is you get 2 1/1 demons. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great. I just feel like you see what Demon Hunter likes to play. And this card doesn't really fit that mold. You want really good tempo, you want some scaling, some snowball effects, and I don't feel that like this accomplishes that. Not a bad card by any means, but I don't think it's good enough. I'm going to give it a 2, and then Wild, well, there's only one deck in Wild, it's odd DH, and well, this isn't even cost card. And tempo DH in Wild is not good enough in this one. Make the cut, so it's a 1-star card in Wild. Next we have Blood Herald, it's 5 mana 1/1. Whenever a friendly minion dies while this is in your hand, gain 1/1/1. I gave this 1 stars across the board in Hunter. I gave this 1 star across the board in Demon Hunter. This card's freaking awful. Like, yeah, you're holding this, and you've had a bunch of minions die this game, and you finally drop it, and it's a bunch of stats, and then it's hard to remove because everyone can always remove anything, and it's bad. It's just bad. I'm giving it a 1. We have Double Jump, a new 1 mana spell for Demon Hunter. So now they have, I believe, 3 1 mana spells. Oh, sorry, 4. It used to be 2. Then Twin Slice got nerfed, and now we have Double Jump. So getting your specific 1-cost spell keeps getting harder and harder. But anyways, it draws an outcast card from your deck. This card's really good. It's 1 mana draw card, but the upside about it is that when you're drawing that card, it goes to the right side of your hand, and guess what? Outcast is active. So quite often you're going to outcast in like an outcast card you can play right away, which gives you a good outcast effect, and we all know how powerful that is. So I think it's a very powerful card that's going to be in most Demon Hunter decks. Like, why would you not play this? Like, it's very, very good. I mean, 1 mana draw card doesn't feel great, but the synergy is just so strong with outcast. So I'm going to give it a 4 in Standard. I feel like it'll see play in multiple archetypes, whether it's control or demon combo or whatever. Like, it's just very good. In Wild, you have odd DH, and you think, oh, it's odd cost, it draws a card. The thing is, most of the odd cost cards in Demon Hunter don't have outcast. You have, like, I-Beam, you have the Silence card, and that's about it. There's just not a ton, and I don't know if it warrants the spot. I don't know, but it is draw a card. I'm going to give it a 2 for Wild. I don't think it makes the cut in odd DH. And until another archetype pops up, I don't really see it seeing play. So I'll give it a 2, but I could very well be wrong on this one. Next, we have Fell Guardians. 7 mana spell. Summon 3 1/2 demons with Taunt. It costs 1 less whenever a friendly minion dies. So it needs to be in your hand. And yeah, I mean, you get this down to 0 mana, and you get 3 1/2 demons with Taunt. I mean, that's good, I guess, but what deck is playing this? Let's be real. What Demon Hunter deck gives a damn about 3 1/2 demons with Taunt? The answer is none of them. It's not a particularly terrible card, but what Demon Hunter deck is going to run this? I can't see it ever seeing play in the current decks right now. I just don't. Those bodies don't do anything. 1/2s with Taunt. It's like a really crappy Spreading Plague, and you can get it for cheap. Whatever. I'm giving it a 1 in Standard and Wild. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Next, we have Demon Companion, 1 mana spell. Summon a random Demon Companion, so you either get a 2/1 with Rush, or not Rush, with Charge, a 1/2 that gives your other minions +1 attack, and a 2/2 with Taunt. I gave this 5 stars across the board in Hunter. I'm giving it 5 stars across the board in Demon Hunter. This is an auto-include in any aggressive Demon Hunter deck in Standard. It's auto-included odd DH. This card is ridiculously powerful. It's Animal Companion for a third of the cost, and you get half the stats. Do the math again, and it's just super good. I'm really baffled by this card. It's very, very powerful. 5 stars. I can't see it not. This is one I just don't know how I'm wrong on, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Next, we have True Aim Crescent. It's a 1-mana weapon. It's a 1-mana 1/4 weapon. After your hero attacks a minion, your minions attack it too. So, not a lot of Death Rattle synergies to make this work in Demon Hunter, but just having your minion double hit might be good. It could also be really bad. It might take unnecessary damage you don't want. And you already have a 1-mana hero power, but the thing is, you have that 1-mana hero power that you get to attack every time you play this, and you have a constant weapon equipped for all of your synergies, like with Satyr Overseer, with Battle Fiend, and Gladebound. So, I don't know, it seems powerful to me. Like, just to always have your attack synergies ready without having to spend mana on a hero power is just very nice. I think this will see play. I'm going to give it a 3 in Standard. And in Wild, you might put it in odd DH, but you probably don't. I'll give it a 2 there, but it's pretty fringe. I don't think you really want to double tap at all with your minions in Wild. Next, we have Ancient Voidhound, 9 mana, 10/10 demon. This is a big, big boy. At the end of your turn, steal 1 attack and health from all enemy minions, and it absorbs it. It takes it. So there's 7 minions on board, and you play this on 9. It's a 17 that will continue to get bigger unless it's dealt with. It's crazy. Imagine this in Warlock. Good thing this is not Warlock, because you can't cheat this out that well. You have Raging Fell Screamer. It's a 4-mana 4/4 that can discount demons by 2. So in theory, you could coin Raging Fell Screamer into Fell Screamer into Ancient Voidhound on 5. That's scary. It's not reliable, and you're playing 4/4s that don't do anything. But this card terrifies me. The only other 9-drop in the history of Hearthstone that was this highly statted was Ice Howl, and it came with a downside of not being able to go face. This comes with an upside of getting even bigger and destroying the board. I can't say that this is not going to see play. It just seems so unbelievably powerful. I'm going to give it a 3 in Standard. I don't care. Everyone says it's garbage. I just can't see it. It's so big. It's so crazy. I don't know. In Wild, it's a 2. You could put it on DH. You're never going to get to that point. But, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the sleeper of the set. Maybe I'll be right on that. Probably not. Next, we have Sociologist Malicia, the Soul Fragment legendary. For each Soul Fragment in your deck, summon a 3/3 with Rush. Soul Fragment in Demon Hunter, I don't know if it'll be good enough. The 5-drop we'll talk about later is absolutely insane. And the 3-drop is really good. And this card, if you're going to play that type of deck, you're going to put it in. So I think that Soul Fragment Demon Hunter deck might be good enough to be like a tier 2, tier 3 deck. So I'll give it a 3 for that reason in Standard. And in Wild, I don't think it makes the cut. If they were all odd cost cards, maybe, but they're not. So I just can't go with that. Next we have Soul Shear, 2-mana spell, deal 3 damage to a minion, shuffle 2 Soul Fragments into your deck. Again, a 3-star card. I think the Soul Fragment stuff will probably work out in DH, in Standard, and in Wild, I'll give it a 2. Same reasons as before. Shatter Mystic is a 3-mana 3/2 minion. Battlecry, destroy a Soul Fragment in your deck to deal 3 damage to all their minions. It's Dustbreaker for 3 mana, because, I mean, we're Demon Hunter. We can't pay 4 mana for a really broken card. We need to pay 3. And the downside is you have to have Soul Fragments in your deck. But you have 2 different cards that you could play before this to get that active. There's a good chance you'll have that active, and then you have Dustbreaker on 3. It's really good. It's probably the most powerful Soul Fragment card in Demon Hunter, even more so than the next one we'll talk about. So I'm going to give it a 4, just because of how powerful that effect is for 3 mana. I can't believe that. It's crazy. And yeah, in Wild, I will give it a 2, because again, I don't think the Soul Fragment stuff will be good enough, but I mean, this card's close enough to maybe you're actually just playing a non-odd DH Soul Fragment deck. You never know. Next, we have Soul Shard Lapidary, 5-mana 5/5 Battlecry. Destroy a Soul Fragment in your deck, give your hero +5 attack this turn. It's a 5-mana 5/5 that gives you an Arcanite Reaper swing. That's insane. I don't know. It seems nuts. And Demon Hunter loves to attack and go phase, so I don't know. I don't see, I think Soul Fragments will be good enough, and this card is a powerhouse in that deck. So in Standard, I'm going to give it a 4, and in Wild, I'll give it a 2. Next, we have Marrow Slicer. It's a 4-mana 4/2 weapon. Battlecry, shuffle 2 Soul Fragments into your deck, so you get 2 more. It's not every time you swing, it's just once we play it, it's got the Battlecry. I mean, you're going to play this in a Soul Fragment deck. I think they're good enough. I don't think it's the powerhouse, like, real carry of the deck, but it's a very good weapon. It's 8 damage, and you can curve into your 5-drop, which is another 5, so that's 13 across 2 turns. That's ridiculous, so we'll give it a 3. And in Wild, again, I'm going to be repeating this a lot, but I'll give it a 2 because I don't think Soul Fragments are good enough in Wild, but we'll see. Next, we have Spirit Jailer, 1 mana, 1/3 demon. Battlecry, shuffle 2 Soul Fragments into your deck. Really insanely good card. So 1 mana, 1/3 demon. Premium stats, upside, Soul Fragment card. I'll give it a 4. You could put that in every Soul Fragment deck for sure. And in Wild, yet again, I'll give it a 2. I don't think you put this in even as just a 1-drop because, I mean, people don't run Dire Mold. There's not really demon synergy so much in Wild for this, so I'll give it a 2 in Wild. Next, we have Mage Hunter, 3 mana, 2/3 rush. Whenever this attacks, as minion, silence it. Can kill Edwin. That's pretty sick. And it's a silence effect, which are not easy to come by in Standard, unless you're Demon Hunter, where you have the 1 mana silence spell. But most people don't run it. It's not very good tempo. It's a draw one, which isn't bad, but this could be a silence. It could be tempo. It really, this card is meta dependent. There's a lot of stuff you want to silence. You're going to run this card because there's not a lot of downside to it. It's a 3 mana 2/3 with rush. It's not bad. And the silence part can be really beneficial. So I'll give it a 3. I think it'll pop up when it needs to hit stuff that needs to get silenced. But yeah, if the meta doesn't have a lot of silence targets, you're not going to play it. But I think this meta will, so I'm going to give it a 3. And in Wild, I'll give it a 3 as well, because there's a lot of stuff to silence. And Odd DH can use this to hit a Void Walker, or sorry, Void Caller, Void Lord, anything like that. And Warlock's very popular, and this will do very well against that. So I'll give it a 3 in both formats. Next, we have Star Student Stelina. 4 mana 4/3. That's literally it. Except, if you have Outcast, look at 3 cards in your opponent's hand, shuffle 1 of them into their deck. Ugh, it's so bad. Like, it has to be Outcast to be playable. And if you play it, the effect isn't even that great. You shuffle 1 card. Maybe you disrupt a combo for a bit. That ain't worth it. You have a card that does a much better job of that coming up. This card's terrible. It's a 1 in Standard, 1 in Wild. Demon Hunter actually got a terrible card. Next, we have Philosophy, a 1 mana spell. Copy the lowest cost demon in your hand. Give both +1/+1. This card seems very good with like Battle Fiend. With Spirit Jailer, you can get more Soul Fragments. Good with a lot of the demons in Demon Hunter because they're all relatively well statted and they can snowball. And it's value and it's cheap and it's easy to outcast typically in Demon Hunter because you have so much cheap stuff. I think you might run it. You might run this just to buff your Battle Fiend and buff your Spirit Jailer, get more of that stuff. It's just pretty solid. So I'll give it a 3 in Standard. In Wild, in Odd DH, I don't think you really give a crap about this. I don't think you want to really copy a Battle Fiend on 1 or later in the game. You really need to curve out in that deck. You really need to hit your 1 and all that stuff. And I don't think this really accomplishes that game plan. It's a little bit more value, but I don't think that deck cares about that. So I'm going to give it a 2 in Wild. Next, we have Glide. Oh no. 4 mana spell. Shuffle your hand into your deck. Draw 4 cards. And Outcast. Your opponent does the same. This card is broken. 4 mana draw 4. Crazy. And you can manipulate it to screw over your opponent if you want with Outcast. Which is crazy. You're facing a control deck that's holding a bunch of answers. They lose them all. They have like mana discounts in their hand. They lose them all. And you also draw 4 cards. It's just crazy. It's just so toxic. I hate the design. I hate how like disruptive it is, but only for 1 class. It's like Divine Favor effectively that screws with your opponent. It's like Divine Favor used to punish your opponent for holding cards because you would get a bunch of cards. Now it punishes your opponent for holding cards and also you get to draw cards. It's just so ridiculous. This is going to be auto-included in so many DH decks. And I keep hearing, oh, it's bad in the mirror. It's bad in the mirror. You draw your opponent cards. You don't have to. It's got Outcast for that. If you don't want to draw, you don't want your opponent to draw cards, you manipulate the Outcast. They don't draw cards. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 5 in Standard and in Wild. Even though you can't play an Odd DH and there's no other archetype, but I'll give it a 3 because if there's any archetype that's going to work, it's good because Glide is that stupid. So I'll give it a 3 in Wild, but oh my god, this card, it frustrates me, and I can already feel myself getting mad about it. Next, we have Ace Hunter Crane, 3 mana, legendary, 2/4 stats. Your other characters are immune while attacking. Powerful effect, but DH does not care about value trades. They have a lot of 1/1, like just a lot of smaller minions. It's such a win more card, and DH is all about tempo, going face, pushing all that stuff. I don't think you care about value trading with Ace Hunter Kreen. You don't want to spend your turn developing like that. It's a powerful effect, but I don't see it seeing play. I'm giving it a 2 in Standard and Wild. Odd DH wants to be aggressive and snowbally, not win more like this. Lastly, we have Cycle of Hatred. 7 mana spell. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Summon a 3/3 spirit for every minion killed. That includes your own. Control DH? I don't know. 7 mana spell only does 3. That doesn't kill a lot on 7. And what are you doing playing that type of game in Demon Hunter? Like, it's an okay card, but that archetype of Demon Hunter doesn't exist. Even the control Demon Hunter that exists is all about just burning your opponent down, not using AoE like this. You have better AoE options for that are cheaper. That's the most important part. So I'm going to give it a 2 in Standard, and you're never playing this in Wild, so we'll give it a 1. And that is all the reviewed cards for Demon Hunter, and we have all the classes reviewed. The Demon Hunter cards seem pretty damn powerful, especially Glide seems like a powerhouse, terrifying. I'm petrified. Hold me. Anyways, if you agree, disagree with my ratings, let me know in the comments below. We'll have the neutral review next, so if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, if you want that neutral video, get your notifications going so you can get updated for when that goes live. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.